If I turn the Wi-Fi off, you're gonna get better connection. So let's just
LTE. You guys let me know if you guys are getting any lag or anything like that.
I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. Normally I'd be live from OBS on the computer, but this time I'm just really excited to show you guys what I made.
It took maybe about 2 hours.
Built myself a nice little tobacco pipe here, so we can talk about true crime while smoking the pipe.
Which is quite cool. So I'll give you guys a little demonstration of it. And I'm quite proud of this little invention here. It's pretty meticulous. I started with
basically like a wooden landscaping stake. It's like the type of thing that you'd see kind of driven into
a plot of dirt.
And then basically just meticulously carved out this bowl piece section. Didn't know if I was going to split the wood, but
so far I didn't. And then I took a screwdriver and meticulously bored out the section that you see there, which has the infamous blue felt tip pen. Now the stem of this
pipe is actually a rather placeholder type stem, but
I was very excited.
As soon as I was able to, put my mouth to the stem hole and blow, and I was able to get airflow through the bowl, that was about the moment I was like, I need to smoke this thing right now.
So I just grabbed a blue felt tip
pen, cut it in half,
and then chopped the tip of it off
so that it wouldn't
burn plastic when I smoke it.
And then this is the initial test flight, really. I actually only test flew it one time, and then kind of confirmed it worked, then was very excited about the fact that it was working, running around my house, showing everybody I know. And then after,
the thrill of that
kind of wore off, and everyone was like, well, he's crazy.
Then that was about the time that
I went live here with you guys.
So far I don't taste any plastic,
but that could change. And so obviously a wooden stem would be, a little better.
But for the
time being, what's up, everybody?
You know what I think is really weird? Whenever I
go live on mobile on here, I get a lot of activity. And then I go live on my phone. Or no, I go live on my, when I go live on the computer, nobody watches. Then I go live on my phone and I have like 10 viewers. So I think that part of the thing that gained NUKE HOAX so many subscribers back in the day was that I was streaming. Like right now I have 22 viewers. Like what? How is that a thing? So anyway, for those of you who are just joining, this channel is generally a true crime discussion channel. Sometimes we talk other topics. I've been covering a lot of Charlie Kirk, the Zodiac Killer, Iran's. Zodiac's been getting a lot less coverage here these days. But, you only
have 6 for me. No, what do you mean? Right now we're at 22
viewers, 2 likes. That's rare. I don't understand why
mobile seems
to get so many more viewers, but
yeah. Oh, are you vaping?
No, this is a pipe that I built. I built it today,
just about 20 minutes ago. So I used like a landscaping
stake,
and then I just cut it up
and I have very limited tools, guys. I don't even have a drill. I'm like basically the Unabomber. Yeah, Japanese name or whatever the language that is. There was 22, now we're at 12, and we have 2 likes. But this is interesting because I don't have this kind of viewership when I'm live on my computer. I don't know why. I've yet to understand why that happens.
In case any of my regular viewers missed it
yesterday. What are you doing? I don't know yet. I just wanted to go on here with a pipe and be like, oh, look at me.
Very classy.
We had some Iran's news yesterday. How do you faux live? Oh, you have to have 50 subscribers, minimum. Once you get 50 subscribers, you're allowed to go live, and then you can go Just like the same way you'd upload a video, you just hit the plus sign, and then you just do live.
Yeah, it's
minimum 50 subscribers, which is it's a pretty small number. It took a little bit to get here though. Like, and I had another channel called NUKE HOAX, the original NUKE HOAX. What music do I like? Rock music with guitars and bass guitars and drums and things. So, I like
basically the band that
made me into a musician was Joy Division, but I don't listen to them anymore because they're really dark. And I've, my spiritual state has progressed, so they're just really intense. But I love Joy Division. I think Joy Division live is the best live performances that have ever occurred. I just can't listen to it anymore because it's too dark. I like early Green Day when they were on drugs. I like the Velvet Underground, Bowie, Iggy Pop, some of these guys. So a lot of times guitars. If it's good, if it sounds good, it's good. Going to like, oh, thank you. That's cool.
So I see these problem poses.
Oh, I was like mid-sentence and I got distracted.
Basically, we used to have... Hello, everybody.
We used to have a channel here called NUKE HOAX, and then it got banned because there were some sociopathic weirdos that just didn't like what I was saying, and I'm not going to get into it. And then
they got my channel banned.
And then so I had to start over, and you're on the other side of the earth. Yeah.
I'm on the other side of the earth. So,
and then I had to make this channel, and I just slowly crept my way back up to the 50 subscriber line. It's hard, guys. It really is hard because if you have a new channel, you have to have the ability to at least get the word out for 50 people that subscribe, and not everybody that watches you is going to subscribe, and so you have to really kind of, it's a crawl to get there. But once you're there, sometimes that can increase, and thanks to Manny Grossman, who just recently appeared in Conversations with a Killer, the Son of Sam tapes. Good documentary. It's on Netflix right now. And then his channel is called The Grossman Files with Manny Grossman. He talks a lot about the Son of Sam. He was really helpful in getting me up to that, or at least giving me a couple extra subscribers and views. He's a good pal of mine, really knowledgeable researcher, really smart guy. One of the few in true crime that actually has a solid head on his shoulders, and
he was helpful. And
Ned DeHaan from Black Box Online Radio was really helpful. And actually, sure, Johnny Quintanilla,
hyphen
R6K. Hey, if you guys go subscribe to JHONNYQUINTANILLA -R, the number 6K.
I like to support community. I like that if you
guys are here and you say, hey, can you... I mean, I'm not famous, so I'm not sure what my shout-out's going to do for you, but I always like to support community, and I'm a big fan of other people getting up to that point where they can have a message for the world. So, where was I going with that? Oh, Jerome from Mysteries with Mr. Belgique. Love Stray Kids 44. Yeah.
All you guys.
There is a Facebook group called Mysteries with Mr. Belgique. And when I was banned from YouTube, I was going live there every day, and I wasn't getting very much traction there. But at least it gave me a play, because also I was trying to hide from my family. Oh, is it laggy? Yeah, sorry. Let me know if that's how laggy that is and what's going on. Okay. But I needed a place to go be at refuge because I was banned from streaming on YouTube, and I didn't know. What up, Manny Grossman? Look what I built, Manny. It's a tobacco pipe.
The guy I was just talking about,
Manny Grossman, is now here in the chat. So I just built this, Manny, and I'm very excited about it.
Come on. Much like the Unabomber,
I had to do this with primitive hand tools. I don't have a drill. I don't even have a saw. I had to use a knife to cut this.
And then I bored out the inside with
a pair of scissors, a screwdriver, a knife. And well, it's a little late for that, Johnny. So, anyway, so yeah, it took about 2 hours, Manny, but I was pretty dedicated because the other idea, a good name for a boat. Shit. Did someone pitch that on here, or did that just come from YouTube? Anyway, yeah, Mysteries of Mr. Belgique was a really good place for me. Do I craft? Yeah, I build a lot of stuff. I'm always building things, and I have very limited resources. I have no money right now, pretty much, so I have to kind of work with what I have. And I saw Inglourious Bastards, and there's a scene in the beginning where, and I've seen this movie a million times, but we watched it, my roommate and I. We watched Inglourious Bastards, and there's a scene in the beginning where the guy pulls out a corncob pipe, and I was like, I want one of those. And I just never went to the store to get corn, but instead in my backyard I found a wooden stake, and so I was able to craft this
little interesting device here. So I was banned from
YouTube, and I had to find a place where I could stream. I was on drugs, and so I couldn't stream on my Facebook profile because I didn't want my family to see me
at all
or know what was going on. And so I was basically ghosting them, and I couldn't stream to my own Facebook profile, so I was streaming. Oh nah, bro, do you play no, I don't play really any video games. I just research
and build things, and
I wasn't able to stream on Facebook, so I went to the Facebook group Mysteries of Mr. Belgique, and I was streaming there every day. And it just gave me a good place to like kind of have refuge, because I didn't have a place to stream for a little while.
And so Jerome
for Mysteries of Mr. Belgique was awesome, and he let me, you know,
he basically harbored a YouTube
fugitive there.
I see a lot of stuff I can
make, but I was too lazy to make them. Yeah, you have to have dedication. You got to really be, you have to be patient, and you have to really
just be ready to build, you know.
I mean, I can run a lab and see who I can get.
It's getting dark. Hopefully I can see if we can move this around and get you better lighting. A little better.
And Jerome was just really cool. He let me stream in his group, and I remember every day I was saying, I'm a refugee from YouTube.
And I was being shut down.
Sometimes you guys will see on my live streams, bro, if you don't smoke, you will be more famous. I don't want to be famous anyway, so.
I really only wanted 50
subscribers so I could go live to like a select few people that are in my little true crime community. And yeah.
But
Jerome was awesome, and he let me stream there.
Can you not go in the house?
Yeah, I could, but then I can't smoke the pipe, which is basically the entire point of the stream. So
I was just excited to show you guys this. That's about it. And you know, I was doing Iran's news. I was
doing Zodiac Killer streams, talking basically a lot of true crime on Jerome's show. And
so.
I mean, I think Eugenia will be good to put there Monday through Friday. We got a place for Samoy, so that's what I was thinking. That's what I'm saying.
We're kind of finding out right now how this thing actually holds up. So.
Monday through Friday. And she's consistent.
Yeah, I know what that means, John.
This was 17.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I already took her off. Yeah, like whatever. Yeah, I took her off already because I thought that would be
Kind of a messy hobby. Anyway, so if you guys,
if you actually want to see what this channel's about, yesterday I did a live stream called Iran's News. I'm back. I was looking at your channel. Yeah, it's a lot of like Zodiac Killer, East Area Rapist, Original Night Stalker, Charlie Kirk, stuff like that. Not a lot of traction. People don't really care about those topics, John.
though Charlie Kirk was a hot
topic for a little. I was just investigating it like it was a murder case. This is a murder case. You know, I don't know what Charlie Kirk talks about. I don't pay any attention to that stuff, but he did get shot, and this is a murder investigations channel, so that was on here.
No, I don't play any sports. You want it?
No. Okay.
Not sure if Manny's still here. You know,
There's some really obscure true crime cases, and
no. One got
225 views. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Was it the Joe Rogan one or something? Or like something on Son of Sam?
A lot of the traction
that was coming from those Son of Sam videos was happening because Manny was sharing those
things. I think that we have
one with almost 600 views where I had Ned DeHaan from Black Box Online Radio, which is you guys should subscribe to, come on the show, and we talked about Sherry Jo Bates and the Zodiac Killer. How I didn't think that CJB was a Zodiac crime. Yeah, that's the 556 one. That's with Ned DeHaan from Black Box Online Radio. Great guy, awesome radio host, natural talk show host, great interviewer. I just brought him on my channel, and he kind of treated it like I was interviewing him, but the reality of it was I was like, you know what, Ned, I'm going to turn the show over to you and just let you do your thing on my channel, because he's a master
of that, of being the interviewer. So, hello. That's good. Hello, Bailey panel. I'm married, Bailey. In case I didn't clarify. So anyway,
Hey, bud. Hope you are well. Oh, what's up, Druzer? Nice to see you. Hi. I'm not high, Druzer. This is a tobacco pipe. I just crafted this today. I'm actually sober. I'm 24 days sober. If you look at my streams from before October 1st of this year, I was on either Pruno, meth, or weed. Or sometimes all three. I don't recommend any of that stuff, and now I'm trying to push a message of,
Yeah. But...
I was doing weed streams, though, Druzer, and every time I would light them up, I would say, this is for Jerome, because I was on his channel.
Or on his Facebook.
Oh, Druzer, I heard you guys launched a new Zodiac show. Congratulations on that.
You don't like... It's not that I don't like them.
I'm just married, so anything like
flirtatious, I just don't... I won't reciprocate
your flirtatiousness.
Druzer,
I saw you guys launched a Zodiac show, and also I wanted to say good job on not choosing the name This is the Zodiac Speaking or something like that, because everybody does that, and it's such a cop-out. They're like, oh, look at my new Zodiac show. It's called This is the Zodiac Speaking. It's like, you're so gay. So you guys didn't do that, and I like that. It's called The Chronicle, but they're rizzing you up.
Man, Druzer.
Another thing I really applaud is you guys are still, I'm fucking Zodiac. It's just like, what? When they identify him, I'll talk about it a lot more. And I think that he can be identified. I'm not gonna, guys, people are so, this is Heaven speaking, that's cool.
That's so,
there's so much, cynical, pessimism in the Zodiac case, and people are just like, no, it can't be solved. And it's like, yeah, maybe it can't be, maybe it won't get solved, but I'm still optimistic. I've been optimistic from the beginning. I think that if we MVAC that cab, that we're going to find at least a skin. I mean, come on. There's got to be 2 skin cells in there somewhere. You mean to tell me the guy flipping, Sandy Betts doesn't like that. You mean to tell me that the guy, no skin cells fell off of his scalp in that cab? Come on, man. His genetic material is in that cab. Get the genetic material. It's there. The solution to the case is in the cab. Has to be.
Thanks, Bailey. Love when the viewers start talking to each other. It's funny. You guys are funny. It's the Zodiac Theory Discord
who produced it. I was just a guest, but I go back if they ask me. If you want some optimism, check out John Walker's latest.
I want
genetic material. It's gotta be there. It's such a cop-out, I think, to be like, no, we just don't have his DNA. It's check the cab, man. It's gotta be there. It has to be there. And they're like, yeah, but then we're gonna have to isolate so many profiles. I was like, then do it. It's only, we've been looking at him for 58 years. I mean, we might as well fucking take a little extra time and separate the genetic profiles, you know? It's gotta be there. I think it's a solvable case. I really think this is a solvable case. You know?
People are pessimistic.
They're like, oh, it can't be done. It's impossible. And it's just not impossible. It's just that people are lazy.
And that's the SFPD.
PD in the Department of Justice, like, they're so lazy. Like, solve this fucking thing already, so I don't have to talk about it anymore. Because it's a cop out. Oh, we can't do it. No, it's impossible. Like, no, come on, it's there. You know, thanks, Bailey.
You do too. Oh shit! I dropped my brand new pipe. You know, it's there, and people are the law enforcement
agencies is just so fucking lazy, man. They had, even Iran's was treated like it was so hard to solve, but we had his genetic material. All it took was the ability to run it through the database, so that meant the conversion of genetic profiles. With Zodiac, it's in the cab. The solution's in the cab, guys. It's got to be in the cab. And this is about similarity between blood cab print and a little list print. Similarity is not a superficial term in print. Yeah, good.
That's good.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not a superficial term. Anytime the word similarity is dropped in a criminal case or investigation, it's like when we find a dead body and they go, we found what appears to be human remains. It's like, well, it's human remains. You know, we're not, but they talk like that because that's actually a very objective scientific way to talk. And you kind of set yourself up for success, because then if it turns out by some mind-blowing miracle that it's actually a gray alien and not a human, then at least you can be like, yeah, well, we did say it appeared to be human remains, but it's obviously human remains, you know? Same thing with that. But in Druser, Little List is totally a Zodiac letter, and in the cab is a Zodiac crime too. So, not surprising to me, but it doesn't get us that identification. I want that identification. I believe that identification is there. It's somewhere. It's hiding in the forensic evidence. It's hiding in the case file. There is an answer in Zodiac. It's just a matter of doing the genetics.
You know, and if it turns out
that it's Arthur Lee Allen, I'll be really nice about it, you know. Obviously, I didn't come up with it. It would eliminate Allen, of course, but it is not a confirmed. Yeah, okay.
Then good.
If we can eliminate Allen, that's very good. But let's get the genetics from the cab and just see who this guy is, because they're there. You know.
They're in there.
I would be surprised if it's not Arthur Leon, because there's so many quote-unquote coincidences where it's like, really? That's that would all be a coincidence? That would very much surprise me, but I'm open to it, and I'm not going to, argue with DNA. If they pull the DNA out of the cab and then do forensic genetic genealogy, and it turns out it's not Allen, it's, Joe Schmo from Nevada, then that's the answer. And back to cab. Would it be too hard, though? I mean, why would it be too hard? Oh, there's so many profiles. It's like, well, take your time. What's the rush? It's been an open case for 58 years. I don't think that that's valid, almost. And if it takes 10 years, then fine. It takes 10 years, but at least that means in 10 years we'll know who the Zodiac Killer is, rather than going, oh, let's... Yeah, not gonna be that hard. It might be hard. What's up, Kid Freshie? Yeah, it might be hard to isolate those genetic profiles, but they just wouldn't allocate funds for that. But then what are we allocating funds for? Like, for looking at code ciphers? Because he's not going to put his name in that, and even if he did, it wouldn't prove anything anyway. Why can't somebody fund it? Doesn't Tom Voight have money? Can someone fund the fucking, why? Why do they not want to know? I want to know. I know I'm not the Department of Justice, and I'm not the one who makes the financial decisions, but, they aren't allocating anything, actually. Well, then let's change that, And maybe we're going to have to crowdsource and privatize that funding, but, somebody do it. There's got to be a rich Zodiac researcher somewhere, Maybe you can steal what's his name? Shel Cavalli's money and use it to solve the case. If I were Shel Cavalli, I would be, investing in the solution of the case so I could rule myself out. There's got to be one rich Zodiac researcher. There has to be one, just one. That's all we need. So that's really setting yourself up. It's like declaring that it can't be done before you've even tried. And I don't like that mindset. It's a self-defeating mindset. And maybe that's the way that Zodiac researchers want to be. I mean, I don't have the money to do it. If I had the money, I would. If I were a millionaire tomorrow, I would allocate the money to run the MVAC on the cab. 100%.
You know, I don't have that money.
But if I were a billionaire, if I were Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, how much could we make if Ned sells his chicken? They aren't his chickens, Kid Freshie. I was surprised by that too. They wouldn't accept money. I mean, what? Then they don't want to know. That's ridiculous. That bothers me. It's like they don't even want to know. They don't want a solution to the case. If they're not willing to take a billionaire's money to run the MVAC on the cab and spend the time and invest the energy in separating those genetic profiles and identifying this fucking guy, then they don't want to solve it. None of them do. Then what the heck are we doing? Druzer, doesn't that bother you? Am I the only one who's bothered by that? It's politics that I don't... What politics? He shot 5 people. Yeah. Like, let's invest in somebody. If I had $1 million, I would finance it. Let's check the genetics. Let's find out who he is, because the evidence is the end. And how can they do that, Druzer? Those people are going on my 4th step in Alcoholics Anonymous. That's it, man. Because I'm resentful about that. Like, Darlene Farron would want Darlene Farron would want us to spend the money to solve the damn case. And it's so annoying, I think. I can't speak for the dead, obviously, but I would be blown away if Darlene Farron wouldn't be like, yeah, let's finance this thing. And, like, that's such a slap in the face of the victims. If the Department of Justice won't take our money, how can they not? I mean, isn't that disgusting? He shot 5 people and stabbed one of them to death. So he shot 4 people and stabbed one of them to death, and nobody wants to know who he was? They just don't care? Then what are we doing? What's the point? That's another thing that's bothering me. Like, the Zodiac investigation, like, it's like running around in circles like this chicken with his head cut off, and like nobody's getting anywhere. And it doesn't have to be that way. I've seen it over and over with underfunded departments. I know, but why not take our money, though? Like, we really can't finance this thing? I mean, that's weird, dude.
That's so annoying.
Those people are going on my 4th step.
Because how annoying.
So Zodiac is just allowed to kill people and it's just fine? Bro, you act like you've never dealt with the police. I had to solve... I got caught by them. Maybe that says I'm a retard, but I did get caught by the police. It just took them forever to get me. About 7 months of just running rampant as a degenerate before they actually caught me. And they really were lucky when they caught me. Had to solve his own car theft. God, what a disaster. Come on. But, okay, and maybe that's true, but why wouldn't they take crowdsourced money? How much would it cost to MVAC the cab? It's weird that they cooperated with ABC in the early aughts, but they had much different attitude back then. Like, okay, think about it. Say we crowdsource the investigation and we get the money to run the... Like, how much would it cost? Does anyone know how much the MVAC would cost and then how much the... Dude, there's gotta be genealogists that would do this shit for free, almost. Not for free, but like...
Doesn't Tom Voight have
any money?
I don't know, Kid Fresh. I think
it's conspiratorial, because, like, what job security is the Zodiac killer case? Like, good thing that we haven't solved the Zodiac, otherwise I'd lose my job at the Department of Justice. I mean, probably not the case. Maybe, though.
It's a trip, man. How much
would it cost? Like...
Because that's the answer.
The cab is the answer, man. I've said it the whole time. And Tom Voight's like, no, the cab's a dead end. It's like, it's a dead end. What areas would you target? The passenger seat, the floorboards of the passenger seat, and then I know there's no headrest. I thought there was headrests. I like the old butt sweat theory that I talked about, like inside the threading of the upholstery of the cab, like when you sit in the chair of a car, right? You know how there's stitching that's kind of like in an upside down U shape, and it like runs along the sides, and then there's like an upholstery thread that runs perpendicular to the axis of your thighs, and it goes right underneath the back of your thigh. I would meticulously cut that stitching open and then run an MVAC or take swabs. I think the inner passenger door would be the best bet. Yeah, probably too. There's some areas that we could really target, hit those areas with an MVAC, and then take swabs of things like the door handle, for example. Like, there's all that Colleen Fitzpatrick needs is 2 skin cells. She said it publicly. She said, if I have 2 skin cells, I can make a positive identification of the suspect. And so all we need is 2 skin cells. Say we pull 25,000 skin cells out of the inside of the cab, right? And we have 25 donors for genetic profiles. Well, let's start crunching the numbers and find out who 24 of those people are and eliminate them. And then we have the additional genetic profile, and then we run the investigative genetic genealogy, and you find out who the Zodiac's cousins are and stuff, and you know who he is. But they just don't want to do it. That can't be right, Vincent. Why not?
Why not?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know where. I'm not a crime scene tech, so I don't know where you would look. But I like the butt sweat theory, where the offender's perspiration is going into the. You can't sequence with 2. Well, that's what. Okay, I don't know. I'm not a geneticist. I'm just going off of rumors and things. Tosky parlayed his inability to solve Zodiac into a movie career. Kid Freshie, you're hilarious. That is so funny. Oh my god. Parlayed his inability to solve the case into a movie career. That's an amazing comment. You can't sequence with 2. Yeah, I don't know what you need to sequence, but let's say that you pull. I mean, you know, he opened the passenger door with his bare hand. I agree. I don't think. I mean, we know that he wasn't wearing gloves because he left his patent prints and his latent prints all over that cab. It's just they're too shitty to do anything with them. So he had to have been touching. Yeah, I like Drewzer's idea there. You know, you swab the inside passenger door handle. But of course, you have to remember all that's going to be. I don't know. I don't think that. This is another thing. People like to act like if you like look at something, it becomes contaminated and you can't pull a genetic profile from it. They're like, oh, we can't work with the Berryessa bindings because someone touched them with their bare hands. It's like all that does is add another 2 genetic profiles to the bindings. All we need to do is find the identity of that third one, that unidentified genetic profile, and we know who the Zodiac killer is. So
It's a trip.
it's like they're just like, it's this self-defeating thinking, you know. And how would life go if everything that you did in life you were just constantly setting yourself up for failure like that? Like, you would never get anywhere. And that's the thing, I see this with law enforcement a lot. Like, look how long it took them to catch D'Angelo. And they knew about genetic genealogy for like a couple of years. They had his jizz in a test tube. So it's ridiculous that, you know, they just love to set themselves up for failure. We know he opened the passenger. Yeah, he touched the path. I'd like to know how much they tested from Exorcist. Me too. Biggest problem with the letters, Drewzer. Okay, there's 2 big problems with the letters. First, like, I'm gonna stick to the rational problem with the letter, and then we're gonna move on to woo-woo problems with letters. And I know you know this, but for the viewers, the first thing is that as far as I know, when you fume paper with ninhydrin to develop latent prints, you destroy the potential to develop genetic profiles from that paper. And then, and that could be wrong, I don't know, that's just what I've heard. And then 2 is that even if you get the genetic material from the letters, all you do is identify the letter writer, you don't identify the killer. And we both believe that the letter writer is the killer, otherwise we wouldn't call him Zodiac. But there's going to be people who are going to say, oh, but that you've only caught the writer of the Exorcist letter, and and they'll say that it's not the same guy. Would we accept that? Would the narrative accept that? Not sure. But I like a crime scene solution. I want that genetic material from the crime scene, not just the letters. A letter's a letter. And yes, the letter writer is almost certainly the Zodiac killer, you know, but it's crazy that
Did that. Remind me what
DNA sample they used to rule out ALA was from the stand. That, you know. Yeah, correct about ninhydrin. I know, isn't that a shame? That's why that's a logical problem with solving the case from the letter genetics. But the woo-woo angle on that is the Horan theory, where the letter writer is not the killer. And of course that's...
Yeah, but it was bogus. And I like that
Drewzer's being honest there, because even though Drewzer says that that rule out is bogus, he's not saying that that means that it's Alan. He's saying that that particular thing is... Drewzer will tell you that Alan's ruled out on other aspects, I think, and that we deviate on that. But that doesn't... I like his honesty. Drewzer's a really objective, honest, scientific type guy. I love his viewpoints on this.
The only thing I would
just want to caution everybody that watches this channel to you know, not have self-defeating thinking. Not to be like, oh, it's just too hard, so we can't do it. It's like, it's too hard, so do it, but it's hard. Nobody ever said we were solving this case was gonna be easy. So I don't like when we have this stuff. Alan is in play, but doubtful for many reasons. Okay, cool. I like that viewpoint, because I don't think he's ruled out, but it, you know, and that's a healthy approach. We should doubt anything. We should doubt everyone and everything. Like, you guys know, it's obviously not Don Chaney. How certain are we that the stamp from DNA is from the Zodiac Killer? I give it 10% max. What does that mean, 10%? You know, 1 time out of 10 it's from him? I don't know what that means. I think that the stamp DNA is just not Zodiac. It either is or it isn't, you know. And if you're...
You know, if I had to
make a call on it, I would say it's not from the Zodiac Killer.
But it could be. I wouldn't say it's, you know,
10% possibly him. Like, I can't quantify that. But ZK would not lick a stamp. He might. I think that the reason that we don't have genetic material from the envelope flaps is because they all got profusely fumed by ninhydrin. So I think he probably was licking stamps or envelope flaps. I don't know for sure. Maybe he was, not sure. But even if he did, it wouldn't matter, because as soon as we hit it with ninhydrin to develop those latent prints, we lose the ability to recover a genetic profile.
So we don't know if he
Lick the stamps or the envelopes.
That's where my thinking is.
I could be wrong, but that's kind of what my research has yielded. It's just, we need to look at crime scenes. Like, let's look at the Berryessa bindings, and I don't think that he was wearing gloves when he cut the bindings, because he probably never expected that. I mean, you're never going to pull a fingerprint off of a rope or off of a clothesline. Maybe you would, I don't know. But, I don't think he was wearing gloves when he pre-cut those clothesline bindings, and so his DNA could be on it. So why don't we check? People say, well, we can't check because 2 other guys touched it. It's like, well, we know who those guys were. Let's eliminate them when we find their profile. Totally agree. We need to keep a positive attitude. Most of the batshit theories seem to come out of sheer frustration at not knowing the answers and an inability to stick to the evidence. Love it. Yeah. The batshit theories come from a combination of mentally ill individuals and intellectually desperate individuals who just don't have anything to go on because we're not the Department of Justice and we don't have access to the cab. But the answer is in the crime scene forensics somewhere. It's got to be.
What is it? What's
the principle of exchange? Who wrote the principle of exchange theory? Does anyone know? Where anything that you do, you leave a little trace of yourself there.
And it's impossible to
interact with an environment without taking something with you and leaving a piece of yourself there. That's called the principle of exchange. So the principle of exchange still holds in Zodiac. It's not like he's an exception to that. Like, his genetic material is somewhere. We just have to find it.
So let's find it. Low card, yeah.
Thank you, Kid Freshie. Low card's principle of exchange. The idea is that anywhere you go, you leave a trace of yourself and you take a trace of something with you.
And so his genetic material
has to be there somewhere, and if they want to act like it's just too hard so they can't do it, it's like, no, it's too hard, so do it, but it's not going to be easy. It's just setting yourself up for failure mentality that's, you know, ruining everything. If people go in and they're like, no, it's too hard. It's like, well, put the work in.
You know, we have all the time in the
world. We've been looking at this thing for 58 years, not getting anywhere.
So... What's a hot take mean?
Is a hot take like a controversial thing? Like, man, what is that? That's Zodiac Killer hot take. If you can clarify. Controversial opinion, it's Arthur Lee Allen. And it's an opinion, I can't prove it. But that's my main one. My Zodiac Killer controversial opinion is that Arthur Lee Allen is a Zodiac. And I could be dead wrong. You know, I won't quantify that with a percentage. I would be surprised if it's not him, but I'm open to it. I love being surprised, guys. So being surprised is really cool. Like nothing like God's world is really awesome and exciting, and like I'm constantly surprised. Best evidence against Arthur Lee Allen. Hair. Like Zodiac had hair. Allen did not have hair, so he had to be wearing wigs, or it's not him.
Yeah. Oh, evidence against
ALA. It's the totality of things for me. It's all the little bits. Yeah, you and your left-handed. I mean, Allen was supposedly ambidextrous. I don't know one way or the other, you know, but maybe that's it. For me, it's the totality. It's the bombs under the house. It's the proximity to the crime scenes. It's the number of witnesses that came out. It's the watch. It's the everything. But I could be wrong, totally, and I won't. For and against. Best evidence for Arthur Lee Allen is the totality of the circumstantial evidence. Like, it's a mountain. There's nobody else in the world that has that. There's never been a suspect before or since that you could write 12 books just packed full of evidence. Caps for humor because I've been such a dick about left-handedness. And yeah, maybe you're right. As far as that, for me, Druser is not going to cut it. Like, that's not going to go, oh shit, it can't be Allen, you know. And I think that for you, it's, you know, like you said, Allen's still in play. I believe Allen's in play too, and that's not enough for me to just rule him outright. You know, but best evidence for Allen, for me, it's the right-handed wielding of the knife and the gun by a left-handed person. Yeah, that's not even like a road that gets us anywhere. It's so up in the air. It's so like nebulous. Like, what hand did the Zodiac use? It could be anything. You know, the writer's palm print on the Exorcist letter seems to suggest a right-handed writer. But I've said before that the Exorcist letter palm print could be bullshit, because it's the only writer's palm print from any of the letters, and you know, that I've seen, and you can see them because it's Ninhydrin, and that never occurred. And remember, Exorcist is only one-page letter. He wrote Little List and never left a writer's palm print. I think that's weird, but maybe, you know. And it's the totality of things. It's, you know, Don Chaney, Ron Allen, Phil Tucker, Karen Allen, right hand for both.
It's all this stuff.
Like, look at the number of witness. Okay, Ralph Spinelli, Karen Allen, Ron Allen, Phil Tucker, and Don Chaney. At minimum, we have 5 people who approached law enforcement and the media and said, Allen's the Zodiac, Allen's the Zodiac. And that doesn't even include the entire Seawater family, who I think they're resentful against Allen because he did, in fact, you know, molest them. So, you know, when you're child molested, you're going to obviously be pissed at somebody and then make a documentary calling them the Zodiac Killer. So, even if, like, okay, so you have 3 or 4 Seawater siblings. We're now up to 9 potential witnesses who came out against Allen. Nobody else ever did this. Allen's been there from the start. Allen was questioned by Berryessa, or, you know, for Berryessa by, what's his name? It's been a while. Oh man, you guys will know. You guys, what's that guy's name that question? And it's just such a rabbit hole, but it's the totality of things. This is why I say it's in the genetic profiles. You have to have the genetic profile, or we're getting nowhere in this case. Because everything is debatable. Everything has an answer. You know, there's an explanation for everything. It's like, well, Don Chaney just didn't like him, and what am I supposed to say to that? I don't have an answer to that. Be like, yeah, maybe Don Chaney just didn't like him and lied. I like Ralph Spinelli as a witness. I think he's a really powerful, confidential informant. But all this stuff, you know, is major, and everything has an explanation. It's when you run the genetic testing and you have DNA proof for an offender that no one can debate anymore. That's what we need. Otherwise, we're just going to go in circles forever. And that's what's been going on for over half a century. Over half a century of circuitous debate. And it's going nowhere, guys. It's not getting anywhere. It's getting nowhere.
So, it has to be
DNA. That's why, like, I haven't even... what else is there to say for this? I want the DNA, or I'm just not going to do anything. I won't even... I think it's Allen. I don't know it's Allen. I can't prove it's Allen. I can't, you know, say I'm sure of it. I'm not 100% sure. I wouldn't bet my life on it that it's Arthur Lee Allen. I think it's him. But that's a far cry from knowing something. You know, I've thought all kinds of shit and turned out to be wrong as all hell. So nuclear DNA, yeah, it's got to be DNA. That's it.
So. It's rough, guys.
It's a rough situation because what happens is the hand is forced by the upon the Department of Justice. We have to force the Department of Justice's hand, or we're just gonna never solve this case. That's it. We have to be ready to accept that. There's always people who want to think that, oh, we can solve it ourselves with the available information. Like, no, we can't, because there's an answer for everything. I can argue with you about anything, Zodiac. You have witness description. Like, you have Michael Mageau. Okay, let's talk Michael Mageau for a second, because I'm not ready to just write off Michael Mageau like people do. There is a petition going around. What's the petition? I want to know. It's like, I'll sign that petition 95 times. Oh, thank you. Send me the link to that, Druzer. Are we friends on Facebook? Friend me on Facebook. What piece of evidence would you like to assess to the most? The cab. Yes, the cab. The cab, because the cab is where he's interacted with the crime scene the most. Paul Stein is his sloppiest and most intimate crime. It's the place where the Zodiac totally, just stumbling around like an idiot, leaving his material all over everything. Like, he did everything short of ejaculating on it, like the Erons, everything that he could do to just screw himself over happened at Presidio Heights. And so the cab is the big place. The cab, I've said the cab holds the key to the Zodiac investigation. And I don't say that lightly. I say that with DNA in mind.
Yeah, I've been sending letters
To the SFPD. I've sent them numerous letters too. They don't even listen. They don't care. As Druzer pointed out. It's sad. It's sad to see that, because I like Paul Stein. I'm a big Paul Stein fan, dude. Paul Stein's awesome. No, I never got a response. I never got anything back from those people. I love Paul Stein, man. I have so much love for Paul Stein, and I've never met him. He died 50 years before I was born. But he's such an awesome guy. Just crunching numbers, just driving this cab. He's engaged. His poor fiance. He had a cat. He was just an awesome guy. Never did any, I love Paul Stein, man. He was such a cool guy. From everything we know about him, he was one hell of a man. He was a true American, hardworking human being, Yeah, I love Paul Stein, man. And it's so sad that they just don't care. Because I fucking care. Don't we all care? Does anyone else, we care about Paul Stein. I want him to have justice. I want his poor fiance, I'm not sure if she's still alive, but I want her to, it's almost, I want to call her his widow, because, the only reason they didn't get married is because some ass clown shot him in the head, and that's just wrong, man. It's just so sad. And the SFPD doesn't even care. And they're like, yeah, but we have a lot of murder cases. It's like, okay, well, let's look at all of this stuff, man. Let's solve those murder cases, and let's solve this murder case. You mean to tell me you can't allocate 3 investigators in a crime lab to this? That's the petition.
What, check the cab? Yeah. Come on, man. I mean,
I love Paul Stein. Do we just don't care? That's wrong, dude. He didn't deserve to die like that, and to never have justice. Won't let me post a link. Email it to nukehoaxbanevasion@gmail.com.
I'm not one for subtleties.
nukehoaxbanevasion@gmail.com. I was high when I made that email, but I still stand by it. Yeah, man. What was the convo between Zodiac and Stein? What was the vibe in that cab? We don't know. Oh, Druzer, nukehoaxbanevasion@gmail.com. When you ban evade on Reddit. nukehoaxbanevasion@gmail.com.
We don't know.
Freshie, we don't know what it was like in that cab, because there's no living witness to that.
Nobody is alive that can tell us.
Except for possibly the Zodiac killer, and even he's probably dead. So,
yeah, it's a really sad
situation. What do I think? Here's what I think about what happened in the cab. I think that Zodiac got in that cab, and he said, "Take me to Washington and Maple." And Stein took him to Washington and Maple, logged it in the trip sheet, and then Zodiac noticed maybe a dog walker, or he noticed that there was too much lighting on that street, so he said, "Oh, can you take me down 1 block further?" Well, I bet that there was very minimal conversation happening in the cab. I think Zodiac was very quiet, calm, and kind of mentally psyching himself up and getting ready. And this is all speculation. And then Stein got to Washington and Cherry, kind of pulled the cab over at Akimbo, and then shot him in the head. And we don't know why there appears to be bruising on Stein's chest, I believe, and that there's some kind of weird physical anomalies, like physiological anomalies on Stein's body. It's possible that those came from that offense. We just don't know. But I think that the Zodiac really caught him by surprise, because I don't think that Stein would have, in the lungs, it's possible that something happened that we don't understand, but I think that Zodiac really caught him by surprise. I think he knew he had to. Zodiac knew that the only way to really pull this crime off was going to be just a surprise attack, and so he probably, for all intents and purposes, seemed like any old cab passenger. Maybe he was a little bit weird. I am a front seater. Bruise on back of left hand. Yeah, what does that mean? Like, is it possible that came from a previous event, Druzer? Do we know that had to have happened the night of the murder? Because I think Zodiac just caught him by surprise. It's really the effective way to do the crime, and I think Zodiac was smart enough to know that he had to seem at least half normal, so that Stein would just drive him to his destination, and then he just shot him.
It's fucked up, but
to think that the SFPD just doesn't seem to care.
And maybe they care. Maybe they're
just not telling us they care. I don't know, but I don't like that there's been this silence, and we're just not getting that part of this situation.
I think the movie
Zodiac came out too early, and it focused on the wrong thing. Lungs in hand could be from before. Lungs are a better bet to be related. Interesting. Well, the cab appears to be parked in a calm way. It doesn't look like, and I don't think that the Zodiac killer would have shot him. I don't think the Zodiac would have shot the driver of a moving car. I think that he would have waited until the car pulled over. So it appears that the cab did a nice, neat, calm akimbo parking on the curb. And then he was shot. So
lungs in hand could be from before. Yeah, so
if it could be from before, then I think we have to be really cautious about, like, putting much evidentiary value in that. Like, we shouldn't try to build a case narrative of what happened to and with the cab based upon those bruises, because we're not positive that they're related. So the idea of, like, trying to speculate a story where, like, the cab comes to a sudden stop, or, like, okay, thanks, Druzer. I'm bad at Discord, but and good to have you, Druzer. Thanks, and I'm gonna go check my email for that petition. It seems that it was a normal cab ride, so I think we should be careful about building case narratives off of that.
Anyway, it bothered me that the movie
didn't show Lake Herman and showed Kathleen Johns. I know, how stupid is that? The movie came out too early, and the movie focused on the wrong things, and if they had done that movie in 2017, just 10 years later, instead of 2007, and if they had, yeah, I agree with that, Kid Freshie. They claim they did it because they weren't sure what happened at LHR.
But that's a cop-out.
Because it's like, you don't really know what happened at Paul Stein, so why would you show that? I don't like that. Anyway, if the movie had come out in 2017 and focused just on the murder spree, we might have been able to kind of rile up public opinion or public support for a solution to the case, and we would also have to have the technology to solve the case. Because by 2017, investigative genealogy was a thing, and in 2007, it wasn't a thing. So when that movie came out, we just didn't really have the ability to solve the case. Now we have the ability to solve the case, but we don't have the public support because the movie came out, 18 years ago. So.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
Fun stream.
I'll go check for that petition. I'll sign it.
10 times, and do my bit for Paul Stein. So,
Bye.